Hi guys, welcome to Simproved, Fry speaking here, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. Today we are just going to build with base game and the new gameplay pack called Werewolves for the Sims 4. I thought I'm going to share with you my process of my own starter house. So after doing all the reviews of all the objects in the game pack, I wanted to play a little bit with my werewolves as well and kind of try out the gameplay of a werewolf and being a werewolf and the new aspiration and whatnot. So I thought, why not hit the record button, kind of see what's going on here. I started with just one sim on this starter house lot. I forgot what it's called, but basically if you just have one sim, you have 20,000 simoleons. And the lot itself is 1,000 simoleons, so I had to build something within the reach of 19,000. At the end, this is like 18,000 and something, so you will, if you download this and use it as your own starter house, still have a couple of simoleons, I don't know, for food and stuff like that. But I think in the game itself, it's very easy to get a couple of hundred a day if you collect all the stuff and sell all the collections and whatnot. And the fish, and it's kind of easy. Also, the two packs, especially the Moonlight Directive or whatever it's called, they grill a lot next to their tree thing, and I always snacked some food over there as well, so it's very easy. But yeah, don't worry, this house will have everything it needs if you want to start in this new world. So there will be a kitchen, a bathroom, little sleeping corner, and I think it got rather big, right? Like while I was doing this, I was like, ooh, these objects are rather cheap. I mean, of course the objects that come with this pack are all this rundown factory stuff, or it's like wooden shack, something like that. And I wanted to experiment with all of these objects and kind of see how little less space game objects you really need to play with all these new objects, if this makes any sense. So I came up with this 2-story log cabin kind of thing that will have all of the different roofs that came with it and all the different columns and stuff like that. I think I didn't use that much of the factory stuff. I tried to incorporate it like sparely here and there, but it's a big mixture of kind of rundown house that maybe Sim inherited and now lives in Moonwood Mill, stuff like that. And I just wanted to experiment a little bit with what kind of family house you can basically do with that, because it's a rather big house in my opinion for a starter, and it's easier to add some stuff here, more doors, and then add a little annex for another bedroom or stuff like that. So yeah, what do I think about building with this stuff? I think it's very niche, right? Like you don't see, you can't do any mansions with that, right? Like it will always look a really run-down kind of spooky house kind of feel. But I kind of like that, I personally always like if the stuff has a little bit more story behind it and this like eel that's so German. Okay, no, I'm not gonna say that word. But like very chic and kind of, the stuff doesn't have any character if you use, do like Bridgerton house and stuff like that. It's like very chic and polished. And houses with these objects are easily have this kind of rags to riches feel. And I think for your gameplay, maybe you kind of try to start with that house and then renovate it, by just putting a nicer wallpaper outside, inside, stuff like that. The objects themselves are kind of cheap. So for example, the windows are like 25 to 40 simoleons and the doors and stuff as well. So these are cheaper than even some of the base game options in build mode, right? And it's the same sometimes with the objects here as well that came with this pack that are also cheaper because, they are the rundown kind of secondhand vintagey kind of vibe. So it makes total sense that they are cheap. But yeah, I think this is rather easy to build a starter house, even if you're not that into build mode. But I think you will find lots and lots of stuff that is within your price reach or region. And it's easier to build with that because you don't run out of money that quickly. If there is a little tip that I can give you, I think I've done this like when I used just base game in the beginning of this channel. What's still kind of pricey is walls. So walls add up very, very quickly, especially if you still have to add some wallpaper on there and, you know, windows. So the bigger the house gets, usually that also means that houses are rather small. So what I would suggest here is using fences and maybe the walls from roofs, for example, to get a little bit more money out of the space. And also by definitely deleting the walls under the stairs. Stairs always come with walls. Some stairs don't come with walls, but I think all the base game stairs here come with walls. You can delete them with the deletion tool. Can add them later again if you use the wallpaper and then just put a wallpaper on top of the stairs. It snaps back immediately. And they cost a lot of money, even for the smallest set of stairs. So yeah, it's rather easy to get a little bit more money out of that if you just delete some walls. I wanted to use some cool spandrels here, but they are pricey as well. So in the end, there will be no spandrels, but I definitely went with lots and lots of different wooden swatches here from all of the kind of rundown horror shack objects, which were lots and lots of fun. I personally, of course, like the white one the most that you can see on the main structure of the house, so to speak. And I created some niches by just putting 1 or 2 walls as a separation tool here. Also, there's a bookcase that I will use a lot that's also a great divider. So you can get some money out of there by just using the wall divider bookcases here instead of putting walls, for example. So that was also very helpful. But yeah, basically I haven't done starters for such a long time, but it's cool to see that the rules still apply, right? And yeah, there were definitely some things where I was like, do I really need them? Is this really necessary? So I sometimes put stuff in and then later were like, okay, I'm gonna delete all the wall hanging things and just put my own really cheap ceiling lamps and stuff in there, because that in the end gave you more light for lesser simoleons and, you know, stuff like that. So basically I think for furnishing, what you would do is just put in the stuff that you really need. For example, the couch, the fridge, the stove. Toilets and showers are kind of expensive, even the really, really cheap ones. Place them first and then do the decoration later, right? So you do the house first, then do the wallpapers and your windows, then you do the really necessary amenities like the bed, I don't know, couch, TV. By the way, I also used a fireplace because I really wanted to have a fireplace, because I was like, I feel a chimney on the outside, so there had to be a fireplace on the same wall. But yeah, basically that was a very expensive fireplace. I would have loved to see a fireplace, you know, rundown fireplace come with this pack. While building this, I was like, that's such a missed opportunity, because you can do these amazing shacks and like the fireplace, like a boarded up one or something like that. That would have been fun, right? So yeah, we still don't have like a really rundown fireplace in the game. And not that I necessarily want that now, but while building this, I was like, that would have been a cool addition to the set here, kind of, you know, building with this, especially because all the objects revolve around either wooden log cabin kind of shack kind of thing. So a fireplace would be, you know, necessary for that, because I usually have fireplaces. But yeah, it was lots of fun figuring out where to put stuff and how to do the layout. But I definitely played with this house, and I have to say the layout is absolutely okay. There is a bathroom, which I rarely use because my sim got to be a werewolf really quickly, and I got me the pee everywhere you want kind of trait thing they can get, which had me howling. Basically, that was such a fun thing. I was like, oh right, we are at the full bar, and she just pees on the floor right here and there. Let's go. No one cared. It was surreal, fun Sims logic, right? So when I was done with the whole interior design and put like all the necessary stuff in there, I started to go into debug and put lots and lots of the plans and debug stuff in there, because they usually don't cost money. I think only the collections cost money, stuff like that you could access through there. So you could basically buy the stuff that you can collect through the, you know, fishing and stuff like that. There's a new collection in there as well from Moonwood Mill. But yeah, that way you get cheaper plants for 0 simoleons, and I also could put in some planters and 2 of the party sex bushes that I really love to use because they are nice toilets and, you know, bedrooms. So basically, since it just has a smaller single bed, you can do the woohooing in 2 of the bushes, right? And also sleeping together in 2 of the bushes. So I thought that's very, very cool for the beginning, especially. I used lots and lots of the trash that came with Debug. You can delete it later, right? Like if you have this whole thing, right? If you get the house and want to do the rags to riches kind of thing, sure, go for it. It's, I think, easier always to delete stuff than to add stuff later, because you have to go through the whole catalog. So I give you, actually, I like to give you more of the options to just delete because it's easier that way. And yeah, basically there are lots of planters in Debug that are really helpful to get this kind of hippy dippy green kind of vibe in here. I chose the Moonlight Directive. I think this is the hippie pack, the hippie werewolf pack, to be my pack here in my playthrough, kind of test playthrough. I still haven't finished the whole aspiration because yeah, sim stuff happened and I was kind of clueless what the hell's going on. So yeah, I had to wait a little bit until people could help me somewhere on the forum or so. This is my cute little starter house with lots and lots of stuff in it. I kind of like that it's not so bare. Keep in mind that, you know, if you have starter houses from Maxis or like the Sims team, they never use Debug, and they're also very, very restricted about the amount of items they put in there. So usually these things that are officially from the game, like if you load up Moonwood Mill and you have just gotten the gameplay pack, they look rather, let's just say, bland. But that's just because they have their restrictions about how big the objects are, like how many objects you can put in there. Performance stuff, I don't know. But yeah, here are the screenshots, so you can rebuild it yourself if you want to. And here we go into the panning shots of the house. I think it has character with all the different roofs and like wooden textures, and I even used some brick walls from the pack, and yeah, it gave me a good kind of overview how to use them. That's the thing I always do, just use base game and the new pack or the new kit to try out new stuff and see how that fits into the whole game, right? Game aspect of it. But yeah, I kind of really like it. It's my story behind it was like I inherited this house. Someone died, I don't know. And my sim finally moved to Moonwood Mill and became a werewolf. That's the whole storyline I had going on there. I really, really liked it. I think it's a fun little house, right? Also the whole wall scratches and splotches and whatnot are 0 simoleons, so that's cool. So I had to spam them everywhere to make this look like super run down and old-timey, but still very cozy because I could choose like all the funky colors that this gameplay pack has. But yeah, basically this is up on the gallery. I will put the download link in the video description for you guys. Feel free to download this and play with this. I really hope that you like this house. And yeah, write me in the comments what I have to build next. And I hope I will see you in the next video. Alright guys, bye bye!